Hi everyone! My name is Rachel Goodgall and I'm an activist with 350 NYC. 350 NYC is a local affiliate of 350.org, a global grassroots network of local groups in over 188 countries working to solve the climate crisis. As activists, we at 350 NYC are known for our divestment campaigns. New York City pensions committed to divest by 2022. For New York State pensions, we're pressuring Comptroller DiNapoli and legislators for full divestment. We're now broadening our divestment campaign via Stop the Money pipeline. We're also working on implementing New York City's Climate Mobilization Act, Intra 1253, to reduce emissions from large buildings, creating climate emergency media standards, and phase down and management of hydrofluorocarbons. After our successful divestment and Climate Mobilization Act work, 350 NYC applied our experience to another important, ongoing climate problem: the need for strict phase down and management of the highly potent greenhouse gases hydrofluorocarbons, or HFCs. HFCs are used as refrigerants in air conditioners, refrigeration, dehumidifiers, and flame-resistant products. For example, the air conditioner in your window contains HFCs, as do the large refrigerators in grocery stores and office buildings. HFCs are 100 to 6,000 times more potent greenhouse gases than carbon dioxide. HFC phase down and management are two of the top solutions to reduce global carbon emissions according to Project Drawdown, a globally recognized compendium of solutions to the climate crisis. In 2018, 4 members of 350 NYC came together, inspired by Project Drawdown, with different approaches to solve the HFC problem.
I got hooked at a drawdown workshop. I'm not a technical person, so I joined 350 hoping to learn more of the technical aspects. And to my delight, the chair of the group has a PhD in biochemistry, so I could focus on people. One of the things I did was pretend that I wanted to dispose of my home air conditioner and ask the building supervisor what I should do. And I discovered that it was very hard to find directions of the New York City Sanitation Department on its website. So then we at 350 had a very fun time coming up with an entertaining skit to educate the public. 2 points: appliances that have HFCs in them are bad. And point 2, everybody has to learn how to dispose of them properly.
Throughout 2019, Margaret and I were in regular contact with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, DEC, pushing them to publish the state's HFC regulations, which had been announced by Governor Cuomo in September of 2018. As the DEC continued to delay, we needed to escalate, so we called New York State Assembly and Senate members on the Environmental Conservation Committee. Our goal was to convince the DEC to pass strict regulations based on an international agreement called the Kigali Amendment. DEC finally released its proposal called Part 494 on December 31st of 2019.
Along the way, we linked up with another grassroots climate group, New Yorkers for Cool Refrigerants, based in the Hudson Valley, and the nonprofit group Environmental Investigative Agency. By the end of July 2019, we had written a more formal HFC strategy for our group that involved advocating with state and local regulators on the phase down of HFCs and also a community outreach and education program. We also knew that the New York State DEC would be putting out a request for testimony in response to their proposal. To prepare for this testimony, we had to delve deep into the properties of the HFCs and the new safe alternative refrigerants.
I was working on the Climate Crisis Policy Digest, a database of existing and proposed climate policies that started as a working group of 350 NYC. Hence, I was familiar with the regulations in California and other states that require 40% reduction in HFC emissions by 2030. The proposed New York State regulations would result in only a 16% reduction in HFC emissions. Also, the New York State proposal omitted provisions for maintenance and disposal of refrigerants. I presented our testimony on March 9, 2020 at the DEC hearing in New York City. Other groups, including Drawdown NYC, NRDC, and EIA, presented their own testimonies with messages similar to ours. The reduction in emissions needs to be closer to the Kigali Amendment's requirement of 70% by 2030. At most hearings, there is a stenographer taking notes, and often the testimony is timed. Written testimonies can be submitted by anyone, an individual, NGO, activist organization, and even industry and business. We are waiting now to see if the DEC will incorporate recommendations from their hearings.
Late in 2019, we became aware of two bills at the federal level. The Senate Bill S2754, the American Innovation in Manufacturing Bill, and the companion bill in the House, HR 5544. They both directed an ambitious phase down of the high global warming potential HFCs. They have strong bipartisan support, which is rare for climate legislation at the national level. Advocating and passing these bills is critical at this time. Once the federal bills are passed, we hope there will be government and industry support to educate consumers on the availability of appliances with safe refrigerants, and also there is strong enforcement of the management guidelines for those appliances still using HFCs. Our plans for the future are that 350 NYC will be involved in these community outreach programs.
After attending the March testimony, I met with my New Jersey representative and explained the importance of HR 5544 in combating climate change. I asked him to co-sponsor this bill. I was surprised to receive a quick message from him saying, "I've signed on." It's atypical to get such a quick response, but it can happen.
If you want to dive in like Leslie, check out our expo booth for tips on conducting a meeting or talking to an elected official. Now let's go to the live stream.